Hey everyone, welcome to your fourth HTML5 tutorial. Today we are going to understand how to create the basic structure of an HTML document and learn the meaning of all the elements in it. We are also going to talk about writing clean and valid code so that it works on as many devices as possible. Now what's this basic structure of HTML that I want to talk about? It's nothing but this code that you guys saw in the previous videos, and this code has to be written every time you create an HTML document. Now to write this code, I can go ahead and type each thing like this, or I can save time and use a little trick here. So in Sublime, I must first save my file with a .html extension like we saw in our text editors tutorial. And as you can see, I have already saved it here. I'm then going to go ahead and type HTML like this and just press the tab key. And there you go. Just like that, the basic HTML template is created. You do have to still go ahead and fill in some essential tags here, like the meta tags, and also set the language of the document. But you do get a lot of it ready-made. If you are using VS Code, then it's similar to Sublime, and you get even the meta tags and the language pre-filled, so it's even lesser work there. And for other text editors too, there might be some shortcuts like this to create it. You just have to search for it in their documentation or online. Let me now go ahead and fill in the missing info here. So I will set the language of our document here in the HTML tag as English. I will put in the encoding in the meta element and then also paste in another meta element which will set the viewport of our page. I am pasting this as I don't want to sit here and try to remember all the words and make horrible typing mistakes. These things even you shouldn't need to know by heart. You just need to know that they are required and you should feel free to search for them online and get the right ones. So this is the basic structure of HTML that you will need for all your HTML documents always. And I would highly recommend you all to save this code in a template.html file in your computer so that you can readily copy and paste it for all your HTML documents. In today's class, we are going to learn all about what all these elements mean and why they are needed. Now to understand this basic structure of HTML, you need to know a little bit about Document Object Model or DOM. The HTML DOM is an object model for HTML which defines all HTML elements as objects and treats the entire HTML document like a tree. So what that means is, when a web page is loaded, the browser creates a document object model of the page and the HTML document is constructed as a tree of objects. A tree which has a root, some other parts and nodes. And the DOM represents the HTML document in a particular fixed order of hierarchy so that scripting languages like JavaScript can access and modify the style and content of the web page. Well, you don't need to worry much about the DOM right now. It's just to tell you about this tree-like structure of HTML that we are seeing here. So when we talk about HTML document as a tree, what we are saying is that at the root of this tree, we are going to create the HTML document or the HTML tag. And then we have other parts of the tree inside it, like the head and the body. So basically, our HTML tree has three main parts: the HTML tag, the head tag and the body tag. Now you may be wondering what part of the tree is this doc type over here. Well, I like to call it as a label on the tree, which tells the browser the name of the tree, or in other words, the version of the HTML that we are using. All HTML documents must start with a doc type declaration and it must only appear once at the top of the page before any HTML tags. It is written like this, with an opening angle bracket, an exclamation mark, then the word doc type, which you can also write in lowercase if you wish, and then you write the version of HTML you are using, followed by a closing angle bracket. And a thing to note here, which I also mentioned in my previous video, is that the doctype declaration is not an HTML tag. It is simply an information to the browser about what document to expect. It helps the browsers to display web pages correctly. In HTML5, it's very simple to write it. Just type doctype HTML and you're all set. The browser will know that you are using HTML5. However, in older HTML documents, you had to write a very complicated declaration like this or this. So in that way, our lives are much simpler now with HTML5. Next, let's talk a little bit more about each part of this HTML tree. When we say that the HTML tag represents the root of an HTML document, what that means is that it is the container for all other HTML elements, of course, except for the doctype tag. Now, in the previous video, I had mentioned that elements can contain attributes, and you saw examples of some elements with attributes too. Don't worry about what they are right now. Just know that some elements must be written with specific attributes. So inside the HTML tag, we should always include the language attribute, or what is written as lang over here, to declare the language of the web page, which in this case is EN, that is English, since we are writing all our content in English. This is for the browsers and search engines to know which language is being used in the content of your HTML elements. Now let's talk about all these other tags inside our HTML tag. Starting from the head tag. The head element is a container for all the metadata of our web page and is placed inside the HTML tag and before the body tag. Metadata is nothing but the data about the HTML document which is not displayed on our web page in the browser but is very important for browsers in order to display our web pages correctly and is also used by search engines. You might want to have the title of your document, the CSS files that style our page, or really any type of add-ons that's going to change the way people view and interact with your site. Apart from the meta elements and the title element that you see in this basic example here, these are some other elements that can go inside the head element. Today we are going to learn only about the title and the meta element as they are written for all the basic HTML documents. And the other elements we are gradually going to understand as we start coding more. Now let's have a look at the meta tag. Meta tags always go inside the head element and are typically used to specify the character set, page description, keywords, author of the document, and the viewport settings. And as you can see, it is a self-closing element or an empty element which we all saw in our previous video as well. Metadata, as I mentioned earlier, is not displayed on the web page but is machine parsable and is used by browsers, search engines and other web services. Now let's talk about this char set attribute that we have written here in the meta element. So to display an HTML page correctly, the browser must know what character set or encoding to use. What that means is, to display all the letters, numbers, punctuations and symbols in the world correctly on the browser, there are these Unicode standards like UTF-8 and UTF-16 which were developed by the Unicode Consortium. These standards are compatible with multiple languages. For HTML5, the default character encoding is UTF-8. So you don't need to worry much about it, just write UTF-8 every time. Another meta element which has to be included in all your HTML documents is this one, with values like viewport, width and initial scale. It is very important to include this meta element as it makes your website look good on all devices, no matter the size of your device. So just include this line of code in every document. Here is an example of a web page with the viewport meta tag, and the same web page without the viewport meta tag seen on a mobile device. As you can see, the example on the left with the viewport meta tag looks much better than the one on the right where the viewport is missing. I have put the link to these web pages and their codes in the description below, and I highly recommend you all to check it out and see the difference for yourselves on your mobile phones. Meta tag can also contain many more attributes and values other than the charset and viewport. Some of them are keywords, which define keywords for search engines, description, which defines a description or content of your web page. And we might use some of these in future classes. Now, the other important tag that has to be included in all your HTML documents is the title tag. It's just the title of your page, simple. But when I'm talking about the title, I'm not talking about the big heading that you see when you open any web page. I'm talking about the little tiny thing you see in the tab of your browser over here. So let me go ahead and write a title here. Something like HTML5 tutorial, and let's save it and open in the browser. So yeah, that's the title of my page right there. Other than the title, the rest of the metadata in the head tag is not displayed in the browser and people will not see it. And unlike the meta element, you cannot have more than one title element in your HTML document. Also, the contents of a title are very important as the search engine algorithms decide the order of pages while listing the search results when people type something in the browsers. So always try to make the title as accurate and meaningful as possible. The last and the most interesting part of our HTML tree is the body tag. It's where we will put the bulk of all our HTML tags such as headings, paragraphs, images, hyperlinks, tables, lists, etc. And the information here is what people will see on their screens. So it's very important to write well formatted or tree-like code where you are making sure that every element has an end tag and that you are not putting tags in weird orders. Also, most of the content in the body is displayed by the browser, but sometimes there's a little bit of metadata in there too. And we will learn about that later. So let's put something in the body tag. Maybe a heading, the best tutorial ever. Save it and then have a look at our browser. What do I have? I have my title way up here and my displayable content, the heading in the body tag right down there. In the rest of our HTML5 tutorials, we will be learning about many more tags that go in the body element. Now, as an activity, in this basic HTML template, can you guys identify the three parts of a well-formed HTML document? Let me know in the comments what are those three parts. Now, if you want to have a well-formed page on your browser, you really want to follow the DOM or the tree-like structure. What that means is, you must always use the start and end tags, you must close the inner tags before the outer ones, etc. For example, if you start the head tag, you have got to end it before you start the body tag. You will also need to use valid attributes, which, as I mentioned earlier, we are going to talk about a little later as we progress ahead. Now, the problem is that the browsers are really nice to you. They usually fix bad code for you and display things neatly even if you mess up the code. But just because your site looks good to you when you're looking at it on your browser doesn't mean it's right. Some other person looking at your site from another browser might have issues accessing your content. So how do you know if what you wrote is valid? So that's where validators come in. Validators are like big blessing to all developers as they check for any problems in the syntax of your code. So if you missed any quotes or brackets or typed invalid attributes, then the validators will point out the errors in your code so that you can go back and fix them. If you go to this site, validator.w3.org, I've put the link in the description below. You can check any website to see if the code is valid. You have three choices. You can upload the URL, you can upload a file, or you can actually copy and paste your code and put it right in here. So I have already copied the code that we were working on just now, and let me go ahead and paste it in here and hit check. So let's see. Yay, all good. But now let's mess up something in our code and check it again. So let me delete this end tag on the title and paste this code in the validator. So you can see we got two errors when I only typed one error in. Well, validators are never really perfect. So it's saying something like end of file seen when expecting text or an end tag. So let's check out the second error. It tells us, oh, there's an unclosed element title, which is exactly what we messed up. So sometimes one error can cause a lot of other error messages. So don't worry, I have seen as many as 20 to 30 errors at once, and most of them were gone once I corrected a single line of code. So let's correct our code, save it, copy it, and go back, paste it back here and check. Yeah, it's all good again. So I highly recommend you all to use this validator while coding. Ideally, you should check your code after every few lines of code, as it's easier to correct the mistakes when there are fewer errors. Otherwise, it really becomes a task when you have to go through 300 errors popping up for just a missing bracket somewhere. So that was all for today's class. I know it was a lot to take in, but I assure you, once you start coding, all this will become second nature to you. Now let's just quickly review what we learned. Today we learned how to create a basic HTML template on our text editors. We also learned how it's really important to follow the DOM structure if we want a well-formed page, and by that we mean putting all the elements in their appropriate places and using start and end tags. We also understood the meaning and importance of each element in the basic structure of our page and saw some examples of what happens if some are missing. And finally, we also used a validator to check if our code is written correctly so that it displays well on all browsers. So that's it for today. Do check out the links for the things I mentioned in this tutorial in the description below. And let me know in the comments if you have any questions. Thank you for watching. This is Jyotika signing off. Until next time, keep learning and keep coding.